In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a fully automated collection process in GHL. This is for you if you have to spend time and effort dealing with failed subscriptions, for example, calling and messaging clients to chase up payments. Since we have implemented this process, our admin time spent on chasing payments has gone to almost zero. We've also reduced the amount of time it takes to collect payment. If we haven't met before, I'm Paul, and I love automating those tedious manual processes so you can get on with growing your business. Now let's get started. Before we get to the demo, I wanted to mention that you do have a few options to build this. This process will automate natively within GOHIGHLEVEL using just high-level triggers, but will only work with subscriptions generated within your GOHIGHLEVEL location. So if you do have some subscriptions that were created directly in Stripe, this won't work and you'll need to use a third party such as Zapier or Make. In this example, I'll be using Zapier. So this is what we're going to need. You're going to need two triggers if you're using a third party. Those are for the payment failed and the payment successful. So these will trigger the two workflows that we're going to need. So you're only going to need these if you are using a third party like Make.com or Zapier or N8N. If you are using high-level triggers, remember that's only for subscriptions that were created in GOHIGHLEVEL, then those will be the triggers for your automations. So let's go to Zapier now and show you what that looks like. So here we are in Zapier, and first of all we're going to look at the failed subscriptions Zap. So the trigger for this is simply failed payment. When you look at the triggered events, failed payment is the one you want to do, and they'll trigger instantly once a payment fails. Now, we don't want this process to happen for every single payment failure, because that way, even if someone goes and purchases a digital file off you as a one-off, we obviously don't want to trigger the whole your subscription has failed workflow. So what we do in here is we check it is a subscription. That's the field I use is this invoice data lines data type, and that it contains subscription. And then it will continue. If not, it will just stop. So first of all, we want to check that it is a subscription. Now, the other thing is if you do have multiple subscriptions, you may need to put an if or a path in here to make sure you have different pathways to go down. So if you've got 3 different types of subscriptions and you want to have different processes, you'll need to discriminate in here based on the product name. And then what we do is update the content. So all I do is I have a custom field. I go into the configuration step. I have a custom field that says subscription status failed. Okay, so I've got a choice field here. It's either failed or successful, and we will use the successful step in the next one. So if it's failed, it will do that, and then the workflow will kick in and take over from there. So now we will switch over to GOHIGHLEVEL and have a look at the workflow that gets triggered from this. So here's my workflow. If I click on failed subscription. So my trigger will be that the subscription status has changed to failed, which is what we set here in the lead connect step. Okay, so that triggers this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for existing subscribers. Now, the reason I do this is if someone is trying to sign up for your subscription and it fails the first time, you don't want to trigger this whole automation. Now, there might be a way to do this directly in your Zap. For me, what I do is basically do it in the automation instead. I basically say, if they have a tag that says they're a current subscriber, then I will do this process. If not, then I will basically just stop. So first of all, I send an email. Basic email will just say something along the lines of your subscription has failed. Click here to go and update your billing. Then we send them an SMS basically to check their emails. Then I wait a day and I then start to escalate over the next few days. And then by day 3, the messaging has changed a little bit. So basically say, the account will be locked tomorrow, but you can do whatever you want. You might be more aggressive or less aggressive than me on locking accounts, etc. And then you can put any automations on the back of that if you ultimately want to disable the accounts, or if you want to remove access to courses that they have or communities, you can do that in here as well. This is just an example of what you can do. So that's the fail process. So the failed payment triggers this workflow. Now let's move on to the successful, because obviously if the payment now comes through, you want to stop this process. So this is how we do that. So now I'm going to go into the successful Stripe payment Zap. So this one's based off new payment in Stripe. Again, I'm going to check to see if it's a subscription or not. I do that exactly the same way as I do in the failed one. Basically, this field here contains subscription, and then I'm going to update lead connector, and with the same field as last time, but with a different entry in it. So now I'm going to say subscription status is successful. Now I'm going to move over to high level, and we'll look at the successful one. So when the subscription is now successful, this is based on the contact field changing, subscription status changing successful, which has been set by this Zap. When that's done, I normally add a note just to the contact record, something to the lines of it's failed, etc. I also have a debtor process, so I could have some debtor scoring, which I might cover in another video. If you want to see something like that, please comment below. And then what they do, and this is the main point of this step, is to remove them from the other workflow so we don't send any more reminders. Once they've paid, you definitely don't want to keep saying to them, you haven't paid yet. And so make sure that you've got the other workflow in here to be cancelled. You could also probably do that as a goal, but I find this just very clean. And then the last thing I do is I clear out that concept field, subscription status. So it's blank again. So it's either failed, successful, or blank. I like to keep it clear between monthly cycles. So that's really all there is to it. It's a fairly simple process. Definitely worth doing because we really don't spend any time chasing payments anymore. It's very rare. It saves a lot of time for us. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.